Hello everyone. In this lecture, we will implement transfer on behalf function. This means that a user can transfer someone else's T-coins if they have the approval of the T-coin's owner. Let's understand it with an example. I have 10,000 T-coins and I wish that someone else can transfer my 5,000 T-coins. If the designated person wants to transfer T-coins from my account, he needs my approval first. I will approve 5,000 T-coins transfer request, then only the transfer occurs. To do this, we have to create a mapping which maps address to another mapping, which in turn maps another address to unsigned integer of 256 bits. This mapping is named as allowance. We have created this mapping to keep track of the allowances. First address will store the address of the user who has provided the allowance and map it to the other mapping, which will store the address of the user which has allowance and the amount of allowance. Now we have to create a function for approval. So let's name it as approve. This function has two parameters. First one is of type address with the name _spender, which stores the address of the user which has the allowance, and another one is of type unsigned integer 256 bits with the name _value, which stores the amount of the T-coin's allowance given by the user. Make the function as public. Now we need to provide the definition of this function. So we will initialize the allowance mapping to _value. Here, value mapping is assigned like an array with the address of the user providing the approval as the first index and the address of the _spender who seeks the approval as the second index. The approve function returns a Boolean value. So let's define the same. The function returns true for the successful approval and false for the unsuccessful approval. Now, one more function is required to facilitate the actual transfer of the cryptocurrency. Let's name this function as transfer from, which has three arguments. First is the variable of types address with the name _from, storing the address of the approver. Second is the variable of type address with the name _to, storing the address of the receiver. And the third one is the variable of integer of 256 bits with the name _value, storing the amount of T-coins to be transferred. Make this function public, returning the Boolean value of variable success. In the body of this function, we define two checks that we applied in the transfer function in the previous lecture. So, we'll copy the code of these two checks and paste in the definition of this function. We have to make one change here. We have to replace message.sender with _from, because in this function we are storing the value of sender's address in the variable _from. Besides these two checks, one more check needs to be applied to check the allowance given by the approver is not consumed already. So, state the condition inside the require function that the allowance given to the spender should be greater than the amount of T-coins to be transferred. If all the conditions get successfully satisfied, the transfer will take place. Next, we have to decrease the balance of the account from which the transfer takes place by _value, balance of, start square bracket, _from, end square brackets, minus equals _value, semicolon. Similarly, we have to increase the receiver's balance by the amount of T-coins it received. Balance of, start square brackets, _to, end square brackets, plus equals _value, semicolon. After this, we have to decrease the allowance of the account, also by the amount of T-coins sent. Allowance, start square brackets, _from, end square brackets, start square brackets, message.sender, end square brackets, minus equals _value, semicolon. Ideally, you should decrease allowance first before updating balances to avoid re-entrancy attack. After the transfer is successfully done, a log message should be generated. To log the message, we use the transfer event, which we have already defined. Pass the arguments sender's address, which is _from, receiver's address, which is _to, and the value of the coins transferred, which is _value. Once the transfer takes place, it will log a message that this much amount of T-coins has transferred from this account to receiver's account. After the successful execution, the function returns true. To add on-behalf transfer functionality, we defined a mapping to keep track of how much allowance has been given from an account to another account. Then we defined a function approve to allow approval of the allowances. After this, we defined a transfer from function, by which a person can transfer the T-coins on behalf of another account. This is how you can add transfer on behalf function in the cryptocurrency. Now our stage 2 cryptocurrency is ready. In the next lecture, we will execute the program to check its successful working. Thank you.